Here with women's head coach Sarah Jansen as Queens suffers a setback today, 78-55 at the hands of Lincoln Memorial. Sarah, I want to talk to you specifically about the defense because LMU did score 78 points today, but they started out slow. And I said to you during the week, the game against Newberry was the best defensive effort that I had seen from any of your coach teams over a couple seasons. 2 shot clock violations forced. Similar situation today. You started out defending them well. What worked in the opening moments?
I felt like defensively we're getting a better understanding of concepts and what we're supposed to be doing. We've bought in the fact that defense it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. It's hard. You get screened. You got to be able to get through screens. You got to communicate. I think the one thing that stood out to me in the last couple games that you've talked about, I feel like we're doing a better job communicating. We're doing a better job off the ball. So those two things really make a big difference for what we're able to do on the defensive end of the floor.
You started out this game with a 5-0 lead, and you held Lincoln Memorial off the scoreboard for the first few minutes. What changed? They seem to pick up from beyond the arc. They're obviously a very good three-point shooting team. They have the #1 three-point shooter in the league, Jay Coker. What changed from the beginning to the latter portion of the game?
Well, it's kind of hard because for us, when we get beat, usually defensively, we're overhelping, which is a good and a bad thing. When we overhelp off shooters, they're able to penetrate and make the easy reads. I felt like we did it. We kind of, I don't know if it was fatigue or what, didn't do a great job in some of our closeouts, gave them some straight line drives that forced the help. But a lot of the threes that they hit, we were overhelping. And that's something that we've been talking about. And it sounds crazy to think that you're being too good of a teammate, but when you do things like that and you overhelp, you don't have quite the discipline piece that you need to be really solid defensively. That's what kind of got them loose to hit those threes there. It was in the second quarter. No
Christian Eanes today. She's still recovering from the illness. Hopefully the so-called plague has made its way past the team. You've never been fully healthy, and I think we talk after all these games, and it's tough when you're not fully healthy and you don't have the entire complement of players with you. First off, effort-wise, I know you mentioned maybe a little tired legs at the end. That's going to come, I guess, when you're only cycling through 8-9 players. Effort-wise, the positives of the performance today, what did you see?
Oh, I felt like we competed. I told the girls after the game in the locker room at Newberry, that was the first game that we competed for 40 minutes. We competed tonight. Were we perfect? No. Did we do silly things and make mental errors? Yes, but you got to be able to compete to be in the game, and that's something that it's taken us to the middle of January to kind of know what that feels like after the game. But if you leave it all on the floor, the feeling in the locker room is different. It doesn't depend on the result of the game, the outcome of the game, but just the effort that you put in for 40 minutes, and that's something that has changed for us, I feel like, in the last 2 games, and something that I'm pleased with the growth. I could sit here and make a bunch of excuses for why we're in the situation that we're in as far as not having players healthy or being young or those types of things, but lack of consistency. But every team struggles with that. Every team kind of goes through that. But to be able to compete back-to-back games, I'm really, really proud of the effort that we put forth tonight, and it's something that we can definitely build on.
There has to be an experience factor out of it too, though. Obviously, your team loaded with freshmen, not a ton of experience, but gaining valuable experience against adversity, and gaining valuable experience, maybe not necessarily playing X's and O's wise in a spot they're comfortable.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of experience. I mean, you go down and you look at the league, and there's 3 freshman point guards in the league. Mars Hill has a freshman point guard. We have one, and so does Coker. So there are 3, and that 2-3 years of experience makes a big difference, I think, especially at that spot on the floor. And then we're moving players, kind of trying to find good combinations for us on offensively and defensively. So we got some players, like today we put Lottie at the 5 just to see if we can get her the ball isolated against different looks, different players having to guard her. So it's something that we're still learning, and experience is huge. You can't put it's hard to quantify it until you either have it or you don't have it, and then coaches really like, wow, it's that experience factor.
Now, last thing for you, the other side of that, not having a fully healthy lineup, so no Christian Eanes. She's quick, she's athletic, she can score. She's good defensively, too, because she is so quick. And Lincoln Memorial today They shot 48% from the field, 47%, 11 three-point field goal makes. I just get the feeling that Christian Eanes, with her athleticism, maybe could have run a few of those off the line. What does not having Christian Eanes in the lineup mean?
Yeah, to me it's the and if you look at it, the reason she scores is because she'll get a deflection and go score a layup. Yeah. I mean, her field goal percentage is so high because she's getting into the paint to take shots, and a lot of her offense is generated from her defense. She's great laterally. We're working on a few different footwork things with her that I think will really take her to a next level. She definitely has the potential to be one of the best on-ball defenders in the league. And for her, she missed a couple games early. She's missed a couple games here in the middle. But the more experience that she gets, she's got a very high defensive basketball IQ in terms of, when some players kind of leave are a little loose with their handle, she has a good understanding of when to go, when not to go. And if we can do a little bit more defensively with our athleticism, try to mix some zones in there, then I think her defense is going to go to a whole nother level.
Queens falls today to Lincoln Memorial. Sarah Jansen, thanks so much. Thanks for stopping down.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Phil.